and I love the budding relationship with him and Sponge. They were kind of the lackeys for the group. Everybody's sending them to get their stuff, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna get through this together. We don't care if everybody likes us. We're gonna do us, and we're gonna do it together. And I got your back, and you got mine, and it's a really good friendship episode. So I love everything about the episode.
That moment where they're in the where Donkey Lips is wheeling the wheelbarrow and Sponge is in it on the way to the Burger Shack is particularly poignant for me, because I feel like that's one of those moments where they really hit it off together. And we don't really see those characters connect much before that. It actually reminds me, while I'm thinking of it, of like this fun little training montage where actually your character, Venus Telly, is like helping them ring the bell and having Sponge eat bananas while Donkey Lips is doing laps around, and it's playing this like silly saxophone music in the meantime. I thought that was a lot of fun and a highlight of why I enjoyed the quirkiness of Salute Your Shorts.
Where we did Meat Market.
Meat Market. I thought you were going to say amusement park.
I mean, it's very hard to pick a favorite. I love them all so much, but literally the first thing that comes to mind is Mickey and I fighting. Like
yes, girl fight. Girl fight.
And all Julian and Natalie and Sean and Mickey and I doing having a girl band. Let's pretend. And it was the Miss America pageant or whatever. It just, you nailed these very edgy concepts.
Sex education.
Yes, sex.
Now, class, today we begin our study in sex education. Sex! Now, I know some of you are feeling uneasy about publicly discussing sex. Sex! But it's very important that we're able to speak freely and openly about sex.
That game may be the silliest that I've seen on the show.
I'm expecting like some Looney Tune. That's all, folks, after.
Just, all right, make your choice. Squirt. All right, make a choice. Squirt. Like,
no more.
You make your choice. Squirt. No score.
Squirting holes. Oh my gosh. It's all about asking that quintessential question. Do you have it?
Gosh. I love this show. I'm not a sports person at all. I can't watch sports. I get bored with it.
Mike O'Malley is the perfect guy, the perfect hype man for this show, because he knows how to bring it.
All right, so a couple of hurdles to knock down, and now we got a mountain to climb, folks. The Acrobat, the big challenge coming up. Our players haven't seen anything like what they're going to see coming up next. Stick around. The Queen.
It's quite a departure from his Get the Picture hosting, because he was very reserved for that show until this came around.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Get the Picture, the game show where an eye for detail can make you a winner. But before we get started, let's meet today's players.
Wearing the bionic blue from Claremont Jr., Kristen Cobra Khalid.
90s Nick Legend was born. He's very much a boiling pot throughout this episode.
We get to see more of his background of the life of a bus driver rather than just the bus driver itself, or like a bus driver put in a very wacky, surreal situation. So we come to really appreciate bus driver Stu's character at this point, and I think it comes to a head in the series after we've had Stu sprinkled throughout the Pete and Pete series. It's really nice to see that background and like how he goes through his day before he gets to school and comes home from school at the bus depot, where we get to see, some things like the bus driver underpants, which apparently is just a pair of rainbow suspenders and like these really big baggy white Ron Johns. You feel like you want to love the guy and give him a hug by the end of both episodes, to be honest. It's just a matter of, well, how are you going to handle interacting with him when you actually get the chance to interact with him? So overall, I'd say Stu here is better than ever, stronger than ever, just as good as Yellow Fever, if not maybe a notch more, because of the foundation we get to see with him working at the bus depot and also wrestling with a main character directly.
You guys are making this so hard on me.
So when I heard the voice as a kid, and I was like, this voice isn't scary. At least it wasn't to me.
There's nothing living under my bed. Nothing at all.
Hiya, Chucky.
It was funny.
I found this very relatable as well back then. Not as much now because my bed doesn't have an underside. It's literally 2 mattresses and then the floor. So can't hide anywhere. Joke's on you, monsters.
Wordplay in Rugrats, as an adult, it's just so enjoyable to go back and to hear all of the little things that as a kid you were just accepting it. It's not like you actually understood like the little double meanings or the the fun that they were having with the word usage, but now you can appreciate it to the fullest, and it's marvelous. I just love it. I mean, I think Mr. Fiend / friend is super creepy, so you could just take the doll and say that's like the creepiest part of the episode, but specifically there's a part where the clown doll is in the crib with Tommy, and its head spins around like the Exorcist. Like, what the hell?
We hope you enjoyed this presentation and dare to get ghoulish.
Have you noticed anything strange?
Yeah, his hairdo looks so weird.
I heard that. It was a boy.
And they find out that they're surrounded by vampires. They try to get out. And Lisa makes it to the top of the spiral staircase. Bart ends up seeing a lever that says "Super Fun Happy Slide," and he goes full Yzma. He's like, pull the lever.
I know I really shouldn't. But when am I gonna be here again?
Pulls the lever and the stairs turn into a giant slide. He slides all the way down back into the quote-unquote secret vampire lair. He turns into a vampire and then tries to bite Lisa. That's when Grandpa bursts in.
Quick! We have to kill the boy!
How'd you know he's a vampire?
He's a vampire? Ah!
Don't hold your breath. You're a jerk, Goo. At least I'm not the poster boy for Bifocals R Us.
Which I got a kick out of because I was totally that kid growing up. And then the other one when like Harry's spazzing out when he's trying to dance, Goo walks in and he says,
Quick, call a doctor. I think homie's having a fit.
There are so many laugh out moments in this episode. I can't help but love this. I've been there too. I wouldn't go to school dances because I didn't know how to dance, and I thought that would like make me the most unpopular person in school, despite my efforts to just get along with everyone.
Question about that.
Sure.
Is that not going to make you unpopular though?
I wouldn't talk about it so that people wouldn't know that I wasn't there.
I'm not that kid. Just dances aren't my thing. All right, kill the turkey. I'm hungry. Knowing full well that he's going to have to make Rocco do this and is kind of relishing in this. But once it gets to the point where Rocco cannot follow through with it because it's just so cute, Heifer is faced with having to do the same thing. It's like, all right, well, I'll kill it so that way I can have this turkey. And he finds that he can't do it either. They can't kill a turkey. But he very much brings the small bit of humanitarian within the show. Most of the time, these little sentimentalities are not in the show, but Rocco brought an ounce of it to the entire town.
You know, when I think about what I eat, I don't really give it much thought like most people. And when it comes to the forefront, I'm like, wow, I don't know if I'd be good at hunting if I was put in that scenario where I had to hunt down a turkey like pilgrims to serve up a Thanksgiving feast. I was raised not to kill animals.
I love that meat scene too, where what was it, Sacco?
I am the tiger, Sacco. Yeah.
I am the tiger, Sacco. I am the tiger, Sacco. I am the tiger.
I love that.
And that was the real butcher there.
Was there anybody there at the supermarket who had no idea what was going on?
Yeah, no, they, because they weren't going to close the supermarket for us.
Yeah.
So we just, they just kind of stayed out of the aisles where we were.
Well,
hilarious.
I'm sure when they saw 2 giant alien lakas just flailing around, they're like, oh, this happens all the time. I'll just go get my chicken noodle soup over here.
Right.
I'm dying just seeing that like in real life, just seeing like what's happening here.
I mean, yeah, just going to get your normal groceries, and then you see all of Wienerville just taking over the supermarket, the camera crew, and all that. What is this? But there was one year that tradition finally broke, and we were hit with a massive snowstorm. Every Christmas we get together with my brother and his family on Christmas morning. So with this in mind, they came over that Christmas Eve and spent the night at the house, so that way Christmas morning it was a blanket all across the scenery. You couldn't, there was no road, and we just spent Christmas. Dad lit the fireplace, and we just enjoyed Christmas there. And then once we were done, opening our presents and had breakfast. My brother and I got our sleds, and we went out in the back. We go past our backyard, past the woods behind our backyard, and into the golf course that's on the other side of the woods, and then just went to town on the hills like we do every time it snows. That was a very lovely year, and I will never forget that year.
I feel like you and I are twins, Alex, after hearing that story, because I used to do a lot of that stuff too. Sledding, and I even had a golf course down in the backyard of my place too.
But I think this brings up an important point too with Christmas and traditions, which is, it's important to honor tradition, but also you need to know when to break away from those traditions and when to also do what you want to do, because there's been a lot of things, like for years my mom had this Christmas Day brunch. And our house is really small. And so, 25 people in our living room. It's just crazy. And a couple years ago, we finally just let it go. It was really nice. And we just realized that was, a tradition that, its time had come.
Yeah, there's always going to be a time when traditions need to shift.
You see her? You see that monstrosity right there? I mean, come on.
Let's go play.
The creepiness level, so creepy.
Yeah.
So
just the way she moves, it's like she's got this weird floatiness, like she's being puppeted by the dark music. Like maybe the cellular demon just has a hand behind her that allows her to move her mouth like a ventriloquist dummy.
I mean, we don't even need to talk about like the carnival barker or anything like this.
And his fake green
doll
screen.
Alone. Yeah. Oh my god. I just she says it all. I don't have to do anything because she's behind me.
Ugh.
I don't have anything else to say. The doll.
This one frustrates me a bit for a couple of reasons. One, I really like how General Damon is fully on board and trusting of Megabyte with what's going on with Dr. Kulix. He doesn't have to try to explain everything. He's already there. And then I can't tell you these things. Dude, you just told him that you're tracking her. No, you've just negated everything of I can't tell you anything. You just did. And also at the same time, I'm frustrated with Megabyte because Megabyte in the first series was all I can't tell you because of these reasons. Your dad, you should be understanding that there's certain things your dad can't tell you because this is his freaking job. He could lose his job
or be killed.
Both areas here I'm a little frustrated with, and I'm also really frustrated with Ruth in this scene because you're a vet, not a scientist.
I mean, unless she's a vet technician, but she definitely does not play that part up in the episode. And I only add that as an asterisk because my wife actually does lab animal science with certain animals to advance cures and certain apparatuses developed so that they can increase their well-being. So,
but also, you're not going to be able to do that with a new strand of mosquitoes.
Yeah, no.
I declare this meeting of the Midnight Society closed.
Bye-bye.